everyone, welcome back to Geekvolution After Dark. I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Eric.
How's it going, Eric?
I'm going. It's going.
I'm going. Oh, it's gonna be a long event. Are you like the little engine that could? You're just like chugging up the mountain.
Yeah.
So, Eric, are you ready to talk to the patrons?
I am.
To the Patreons in patreon.com. And we're going to talk about all kinds of stuff that we decided would be interesting to talk to you folks about. It's late. It feels later than normal, but I don't think it's actually that much later than normal.
No, it's like, what
is it?
12:30?
Yeah. I don't know. I've been working on a rewind all day. It feels like it's 3 in the morning to me right now.
I mean, there's probably other contributing factors to that.
It's possible. I don't know what you could possibly be referring to. Are you referring to the fact that we just got done watching 4 episodes of Alien Rangers? Is that what you're talking about?
No.
Is that what you're referring to?
That's not what I'm referring to.
Oh, all right. Well, anyway, I have been working on Age of Ultron, Eric, and It is currently about 10,000 words long. It's almost an hour-long video. You know what's really cool? I'm using a website for word count because I've been writing all my rewinds lately in my phone, which I know sounds kind of weird, but I discovered that I can write about the same amount of words in an hour on a phone as I can on a keyboard, and it lets me do it anywhere. And so it's just wherever I happen to feel like being, or if I'm out in public or whatever, I can work on it. And so I've been working on it on my phone. Well, the thing is, I'm just writing in a little WordPad, and it doesn't have a word count in the WordPad, so I have to copy all my text and put it into a website. Well, I'm using a website that not only gives you the word count and character count and everything, but it tells you approximately how many minutes it would take to read it aloud.
Interesting.
Which is really nice, and it's pretty accurate with the speed at which I read. So I can tell approximately how long the video is going to be before I've even gotten into my microphone.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. That's really cool. So right now it claims it's about 55 minutes. And the Power Ranger one said it was about an hour. It would be around an hour 20, and it was like an hour 15, hour 20. So it was really close.
Nice.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
So anyway, so that's what I'm working on, and we'll see how much sense that review ends up making. A lot of me just trying to figure out what I think of this movie on the page. It's so dense. There's so much going on. I say in that review that it's a season of television condensed down, crammed into 2 hours, and there's a lot of stuff that it's communicating, but not until I'm taking notes. Just a lot I didn't pick up on at all until I started going, I have to write about this.
So are you liking a lot more?
I'm frustrated, you know? I'm liking it more in that I'm seeing everything that was in it that I missed before. But the fact that I'm having to study it before any of that is leaping out at me makes me frustrated, because I know a lot of people didn't see it, didn't notice it. It's the worst kind of having to watch something again. You know, it's like it's all there, you know, and there's all this great character work and all this great thematic work, but it's so condensed, it's so crammed. I'm thinking about at the end saying, all the stuff that I like is here, but that I'm talking about, like it's all here. I'm not stretching for things too much, but I wish I was watching it at like half the speed, you know, which is more like code for it should be like an hour longer. It should at least be half an hour longer. But anyway, so I'll look forward to that. That's going to come out hopefully in the next couple days. When this comes up for you guys, though, you'll probably already see it. I'm not sure yet what'll come up first, but probably that. Well, you know what? Almost certainly that, because we actually posted the last After Dark late.
Oh, did we?
Yeah.
Because I thought this one was.
And by we, I mean me. So, that probably, it came out almost simultaneous with the Omnibus, which is weird because now my schedule's all funky off because it's supposed to come off on the off week. So I'll probably have to wait a week.
You know.
No, I should post it right away because then it will be on the off weeks again.
Yeah.
That's what I should.
Can I tell you?
Yeah.
I've been thinking.
Have you?
Moving Rewind over to a no stills format.
Yeah.
I've been considering actually attempting the Tokusatsu Rewind.
Really?
Yeah, because that was always my big hang-up was, I'm going to have to edit it. I'm going to have to pull pictures. I'm gonna have to...
No, you should think about it, yeah.
I'm seriously considering possibly doing it.
Are you thinking about actually scripting it, or just you doing your old format?
No, actually scripting it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, your old format sounds close enough to scripted you could almost get away with it because you're so good at speaking off the cuff. Mm-hmm. Like, all you'd have to do is edit out some ums and things, and you probably... Like, you're more articulate off the cuff than I am, I think.
I don't know. People tell me these things. I don't believe it.
Yeah. Well, hey, people tell me I'm as good or better. Some people, not everybody. The people that think the way I think are like, I don't know why you even talk off the cuff. You make so much more sense when you're writing. I don't think I know what I think about anything until I've written it down. So I don't know why anybody would want to listen to me just talk about things, but they do. So I do it. But some folks have told me in the past that they like the commentaries better than they like Rewind. I don't understand that.
I get that. It's a more
raw kind of.
Yeah, it's more human, right? Like it's more.
Yeah, that's fair.
Rewind is a paper. Commentaries are just kind of. It's getting to know the guy. As
That's
opposed
fair.
to.
No, that's a good point. Yeah. Well, and I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm glad I do both.
Yeah.
You know, and I enjoy doing both. I don't mean to say that I just do it because people like it. I don't even get in trouble here. That's not what I mean.
Yeah.
But I'm always.
But you think you're better written.
I am. Yeah. I'm self-conscious about it. Always have been. You know, I've been doing this for 9 years. I'm always self-conscious about that. Well, you ready to get into some topics here?
Yeah, let's get into some.
All right, let's do it. Here we go. By the way, you might have noticed that these Power Rangers comics are here. We're not actually talking about these today because we don't do reviews on this show. But Eric has been reading these because we're doing a Power Rangers themed omnibus next time, and that's what we're reviewing.
I read all of Go-Go, and I am 9 issues into Mighty Morphin.
By the way,
but I've read 10 because no, I've actually read 9 because we're missing 4. But there's also a 0 issue, so.
I'm getting some requests. I'm getting some people asking why we haven't said anything about Shattered Grid yet, and that event is so big. I feel like we should go ahead and read through 25 and give our first impressions of that
Sure.
issue. I would like to do that if you don't mind.
I own it. Why not?
We'll eventually, obviously, review that as an event, but I think we should at least give our first impressions on 25.
Sure.
And and obviously we're already doing the lead-in because that's the end of the stuff we're reading. So,
yeah.
Eric,
also, is there another issue of Go-Go? Because that story just stops. Like if the next issue is Shattered Grid Part 2,
that's what I told you.
That story just
that's
stops.
what I told you. Just stops.
Okay.
No, that was 7, right?
7.
No, that's what's out.
Okay.
Don't shoot the messenger, man. I just bought the thing.
Yeah.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
Eric, 60 minutes on the clock. Are you ready to get going?
I am.
On the after darkness of it all?
Yeah.
I don't think either of us has sworn yet.
I'm
not going to right now. I'm not going to. I'm going to do it when the spirit moves me. Are you ready?
Yep.
I'm about to press.
Be moved.
I didn't say the Sony. I said the spirit. All right, here we go. 60 minutes on the clock, and begin.
So mine's gonna be a very topical topic in that it happened today.
Really?
I took work? No, before I went to work.
Okay.
Maybe it actually happened last night. I'm not sure. I think it happened this morning. I don't know. I took one of those online quizzes.
Oh yeah.
You know those online quizzes? It was from
not like a trivia quiz.
No. It was the website is called How Things Are Made, and it was just one of those things.
Yeah, I've seen that website.
Yeah, and it was just one of those things in Facebook where it popped up and it was like, you might like this. But it was specifically someone I know was like a liker of that page. So I was like, okay, I'll trust that. Let me see what this quiz is like. And it's, we can guess your age based on your opinions on the Star Wars films.
That's interesting.
And I was like, all right, let's see what you've got.
How old did you think you were? 55 years old?
I thought I was 20.
Oh, interesting.
It told me you grew up with the prequels. You should really go back and appreciate the original trilogies. Now, here's what's weird. Most of my answers were original trilogy answers. There were some Clone Wars or there were some pre-trilogy answers, like...
so that sounds like it was just a poorly put together
and
quiz.
Some of them, I was like, well, this doesn't even... So, it was like, which Star Wars character would you cosplay as? It was like 4 different options. I picked Qui-Gon. Physically, that's the closest I can probably get.
Yeah. Well,
how does that determine
you might have
how dare I pick Qui-Gon?
That sounds like it was just a really superficial kind of quiz.
But it was just weird because I feel like majoritively my answers would have been original trilogy answers.
Yeah, who you would cosplay as does not always have anything to do with what your favorite things are.
No.
It really doesn't.
No,
and what your favorite things are narratively versus visually can be very different things, right? Like, if you asked me who's your favorite female character in Star Wars, I might quickly, this isn't my answer, but if you put a gun to my head, very quickly it would be hard for me not to say Aura Singh. Like, I don't actually like the prequels that much, but I just think visually she's a really cool looking character.
And I like the prequels more than you do.
Yeah.
That's that comes from me being younger. But like, also 20 felt really young for that answer. 20, I would think, would be all about the new movies, right?
Well, when was it made? When was the quiz?
It had to have been recently because Last Jedi was a listed answer for something.
Well, that's strange,
right?
Yeah,
right.
I don't get it.
It was weird. What's your topic?
Yeah. Am I supposed to weigh in anymore in some way on that topic?
No, it's just bullshit. It's just a bullshit quiz.
There it is. There's the first swear of the day. Eric, I don't even think that's a novelty anymore. We've been doing this show for so long.
No, it can't be for anyone watching
at this point.
Unless it's a new patron, which, by the way, thank
that's
you.
True.
Hello.
Thanks.
Welcome, welcome.
No, absolutely. We are, as of this recording, and it could go up or down from here, but we are $27 away from 500.
Wow. What's your 500 movie?
Deadpool.
Oh, cool.
Because we have the sequel coming out soon.
Yeah.
And I'm wrong, sort of, about Untitled Deadpool sequel. They're not using it in any of the advertising. I'm
but they're also not calling
Fox,
it Deadpool 2.
Yeah, they are. I'm seeing that
are
logo.
They?
There's
okay.
a logo. I'm seeing it. Yeah.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
That's really
I want Untitled Deadpool, but it's possible it's still in the movie. That is possible.
Yeah.
I don't know though. I'm starting to doubt it.
And this movie is not being marketed like the first one. Like it's not like just a bunch of Ryan Reynolds fucking around.
There's some of that,
but it's not as much.
Well, he's doing it with a cancer drive.
Okay.
Have you seen that?
No.
I'll send you the video.
Okay.
I wanted to talk about it on Omnibus because I think it's fun.
Cool.
He's doing a they're doing a big supporting research for cancer thing, and he's wearing a pink Deadpool suit, and he's in a set with pink everything, and he's got like a unicorn and everything, and they're giving away the pink Deadpool suit.
That's awesome.
So like they're trying to get a bunch of people to donate,
That's
and then
cool.
if you donate, you're entered into a drawing to win the pink Deadpool suit.
That's amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Speaking of something I was speaking of, Untitled Deadpool sequel. So accidentally, as I was talking to the guy today that I was telling you about, who is interviewing me for a class project, he's doing a he's doing a profile on me. He said something that made me stumble onto a notion I wanted to ask you about. We'll do this on camera.
Is this the topic?
No, it's not at all.
Okay.
But this is the thing I wanted to talk about anyway. We might as well do it on camera because it's fun.
Right now is the optimal time.
We have been...
We're both completely on the right
we have been having an impossible time coming up with the title for the video game Movie Mania.
Yes.
I think we should call it Untitled Video Game Movie Mania. Because we can't come up with a title.
We should go with that if Deadpool doesn't use it.
If Deadpool doesn't use it?
If it's not in the movie, we should go with it.
Okay.
I think.
Why, you think it's like jumping too much on a trend?
Maybe.
Yeah, okay. I just you know what though? It's funny because I think that was a great idea until I said it out loud. And I said it out loud and I'm like, I don't know if I like it anymore. Like I'm pitching it to you and then I was like, maybe fuck that idea. I'm not
immediately in love with it just because it's not a video game thing.
Well, that's true. It's.
I mean, they are the video game movies, but like, it's not a video game thing.
No, you're right. It's not like a parody of anything.
No.
It's kind of just giving up. It's kind of just like...
Yeah, it is. That's exactly what it is.
It's funny because we gave up. We're still waiting. And it's funny because we've gotten suggestions. Nothing I like.
Well, and we haven't been able to come up with anything we like either.
No, that's what I'm saying. Is nobody can figure out what to call this damn thing.
Yep.
I wish I'd thought of that when you pitched it. I might have been like, nah, I don't want to do that.
We don't have a title.
Can't come up with a title for it. The problem is, it's like... You try to put mania on the end of something or make it alliterative, and it's like video game mania sounds dumb, and I can't get past that.
Retro watching? Mania?
Again, it's got to have the idea of video games in the title. Yeah. Batmania, Marvel Mania, like...
Gamania.
It has to have the notion of video game movies... and not sound like it's about video games only. And that's the impossible thing with coming up with a title.
We actually have to sit down and make a list. What if this is dumb? You're gonna shoot me down. You're gonna say no. I don't like this.
Well, I thought my great idea was great, and then it was not great. So
what if?
Yeah.
Let's say there's 40 of them.
Uh-huh.
What if we came up with 40 different titles, and every episode was like Video Game Mania, 8-bit theater, like.
It's got to have mania in the title.
Yeah.
It does have to have that.
8-bit theater actually exists. That's a thing. I didn't mean to do that. Like, it just kind of came out.
That is an amusing notion, though. Fighting game movie mania. Like, you call it a different title depending on what the genre is every time. Part of that, like part of it could be that, where it's like platformer mania.
Player select.
Or movie mania.
Could that work? Player select mania? That doesn't really.
I don't like it.
No.
I don't like it.
But for one episode,
we have to be careful to not title it a thing. Yeah, well, for one episode, it could be as retarded as we want. It can sound as dumb as we want. That was not politically correct. I apologize, I guess. Anyway, moving.
I guess.
Moving right along. My intentions were, I don't know. I haven't even thrown out a first topic yet. What do you think, Eric? This is my official next topic. I should just let you
first
do a topic next, to be honest with you. I feel like I went longer on not a topic than you did on your topic. What do you think when you're an elderly person? Let's say retirement. Let's say you're 65. What do you think?
In this economy?
What?
That was a dumb joke.
That's why you made the idiot face. Let's say you're 65.
Okay.
What do you think by that time will be? Let's see, you're 26.
Yep.
So like
almost
like
27.
20, like 57, 2060. Let's say round it out somewhere around 2060. Okay. What would you say will be the most alien thing from here to now about life, like when you're 65? Like, what will look the most different? Like technology-wise, or socially, or anything? Like, what do you feel? What aspect of life do you feel like you can't even imagine what it's going to look like?
Moving forward, not what I think I'll look back on and will be.
No. Then, looking forward right now, what do you imagine you'll get to? And if 26-year-old you went to the future, you'd be like, what the hell is this?
The internet. Something.
I mean, I don't think it will be the internet at that point, right?
Yeah, no. The internet will be a thing where, like, you and I will keep saying the internet, and, like, 15-year-old kids like, it's not called that
But
anymore.
I think that could happen in 10 or 20 years.
But the thing...
Maybe not 10.
The thing with the internet is, I think the internet could become something completely different and be, like, really advanced and weird and, like, be beamed into our brains.
Right.
But I also think we could all decide at one day, like, this is kind of a bad idea, and maybe we shouldn't be doing this as much as we are, and the internet could just, like, be a much lesser part of our life. I don't know. I think where the internet is when I'm 60 years old is going to be very different than where it is now. I think that will be the big thing.
Okay, can I give you my answer? And this might be wishful thinking or horrifying thinking, depending on who you are.
Also, my hope is that the robot fighting is a league by that point.
I think you're thinking too small.
Yeah,
I really do. I think.
Do you think global, national, everyone's one?
Oh, like a one world government?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that happens that quickly. Certainly that quickly. No.
Okay, I just went as large as I could.
In the social thing. Okay, so I think technology is moving so quickly that it's possible that, like, the notion of mortality is a different thing.
Well, we're already working on that.
I know that, but I don't mean medically. I recently listened to an interview with a futurist that was really compelling, that suggested that by that time, and I don't know how much I buy that we'll do it that quickly, but I'm just saying that I'm starting to think bigger, that by that time, we might be able to back up our memories on something akin to a hard drive, and like extend our lives in at least a digital way.
Interesting.
Yeah, like if there are people who understand technology better than I do, which is most people,
you'll digitize your mind.
Yeah, well, but it's not as simple as that. It's not a copy. The idea is that you would be able to extend your mind and then when you die, move it. So the idea is like adding memory to a hard drive. Like that we might understand the brain enough at that point that we could add to the memory we have already.
Huh. Would we put it in a new body?
Yeah.
See, okay, because here's the thing.
It would live in a computer, and then if you had a robot body, maybe you could put it in that.
See, I don't like that because here's immediately the problem with that.
Well, the big issue I had with that guy was that because like it was compelling that it might be possible. My issue was he was way too quick to assume that we would retain self-awareness.
Yeah.
How do you know it's not just ones and zeros?
That you would retain self-awareness and that anything that makes you is still there.
Yeah.
Once you don't have a body.
Yeah. You and I
You're
have
from your
seen way
senses
too much
and from-
horrifying science fiction that suggests, and I tend to buy into it, that we can be more than the sum of our parts, but we are the sum of our parts.
Yeah, well, like...
If you can't feel, what does it do to you? And you have got to read that Metalhead two-parter with Donatello in the other monthly in Shirtle's book, because it goes into all of that. He can't feel, and it turns him less than human.
Well, it's not just about feeling. It's about the synapses and the fact that because sometimes I go really deep into the thought of like what even are any of us really responsible for the things we do? Because when you keep going deep,
processes.
Yeah, when you keep going deeper, we're not actually choosing anything. Like it's just things happening, right? How can any of that be replicated digitally? Yeah. What are you? Once that component's taken out.
Yeah. And that guy was real quick to be like, well, that's all kind of existential philosophical mumbo jumbo, and I'm not concerned.
I don't think it is.
And I don't think it is either. I think it's very relevant.
Well, and we also know that no matter who you are, no matter how egotistical you seem, the one thing that keeps everyone on the planet in check is that we're all self-conscious about our body. Once you take that away, there is no check. There's no check against anyone. The most egotistical crazy person you can think of is still in check because they are not comfortable with their body.
But let me suggest this, and this still would be a big, huge, giant breakthrough in technology, and would be a bigger deal than however the internet might change. Holodecks, whatever we're talking about. Yeah. It's still a big deal and also safe and not scary in the same way if it is ones and zeros. Because if you can back up... Why am my Skype just open all of a sudden? Why
all
is
your
that?
computer just turned on.
Oh.
It was black screens before, and now it's not.
All your base belong to us.
Surprised that wasn't a Ready Player One.
I expected it, yeah. If you can move the data from someone's brain, and their self-awareness and their consciousness is not there, and they don't have free will or even the ability to manipulate anything inside of a computer, but you're able to decode the data and somehow textualize it, or even like do the Joel thing, where you can like talk to an interactive version of a person, but it's not actually them making choices. Not only is that huge, but we would feel so bad about everyone we lost.
Yeah.
That's what I hope we can do.
Especially the Goliaths, the huge minds.
Well, not even just the huge minds. I mean people in your family that know something about family history when your parents or your grandparents don't. We all could think of 12 people right away that we would wish that were still with us. I mean, you already might have that. I'm just saying that you think about all the information you lose when you think about the brain as a hard drive, and it crashes when you die and we bury a person. How much sadder would it be if by a certain year, everyone after that, we can preserve their memories and their knowledge?
And
what if you could have done that with Stephen Hawking? He just died a couple weeks ago, and we don't have his brain.
Well, and how does that affect history? You no longer have the histories written by the winners thing.
Well,
especially
perspective though, and remember that brain is that your mind is a fickle thing, and so that would also be. It would be difficult to tell all the time how to translate it, how to interpret it. But it would be less scary than if a person still had their faculties about them and could make decisions and think for themselves. But if you could somehow translate that into another body and they didn't lose everything you're talking about, we didn't have the ego without the humanity, you know, it would be wonderful if we could preserve like an actual living person.
Yeah.
You know, or we may find, like a lot of science fiction has taught us,
That's
that
a bad
it's
idea.
that everything needs to end.
Why are there so many things? There are so many things where we have spent a century just constantly over and over again writing, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this.
And we
don't
keep
do this.
doing it.
And we keep...
It's because it's just entertainment for a lot of people, right?
Well, and you consider like some of this is like buried in the more sophisticated things. Everyone's seen fucking Terminator. We need to stop working on AI. Like, we just need to stop.
It's profit motive, it's curiosity.
It's the science all about coulda, not about shoulda thing.
And it's all the breakthroughs that we make that save lives that started from a different place, right? It's the issue of, yeah, but if you don't take risks, what do you lose?
Yeah.
So, no, it's really, I mean, I have a really hard time saying don't create AI at the same time as I say you got, it's not about not doing it, it's about having a sense of responsibility with it, and that's so difficult.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's your next topic?
Boy, I don't know.
Boy, howdy.
Okay. This should be an easy kind of quick one. So, with different teams like X-Men, Justice League, Avengers...
I do this just for the people that happen to actually be watching, because I assume most people are just listening to us right now. Sometimes I like to do weird things at the screen and just see if anybody actually comments on it. If you're seeing
Do we
me
get comments
pretend-
on the After Darks?
We do.
I never check them.
Not a lot, but if you see me pretending to throw fireballs right now, please leave a comment and say, hey, look, Captain Logan was pretending like he had... Which stone is that, according to...
Time.
Is it the time stone?
Yeah, because he said he reversed everything.
It is. So wait, what's the only one? Reality? Is that the one we're missing?
I don't remember, because we're real fucking vague about it. Because, like, 2 of them could be...
No, we're not.
Like,
we know which
3
ones
of
are
them
which.
could be
No,
power.
they're canon. It's canon which is which.
Have we finally decided? Because I think the Ether's power, but...
I think there's 1 or 2 that they didn't make it real clear in the movie, but, like, the filmmakers came out and said or something. The wiki is clear about it. If it's right. If it's right. Anyway... But I want to hear from you if you see me doing this. Do I need to stall some more?
No,
Are you looking up?
No,
the
I'm just
reality
pulling
stone?
up. I'm trying to pull up a thing that just says like what the colors are.
But see,
for
it's
the
dumb
movie.
that I said that because
Also-
anybody who was just listening would then probably just pull up their video and be like, "What the hell is he
or
doing?"
rewind.
That's for that too. Yeah, my experiment failed, y'alls. I should have just done it without talking about it. Why am I dumb?
Mini rants to the side before I actually get into my topic. Why are they different colors?
They've always been different colors.
No. Why are the movie colors different than the comic book colors? Like, it's one of those things where I'm like, yes, it's a very small detail. Why'd you fucking change it? What is the motivation behind changing something so small?
Who cares?
They cared enough to change it. That's why I care. They cared enough to fuck it up. I don't get it.
I don't agree with that.
Okay.
The issue is they didn't know with a lot of those which one they were using in the first place, so they arbitrarily made it a particular color. You're not right about that.
Well, it's because they didn't actually have a master plan. Okay, so
right, but we know that. So what's your point?
Tesseract is space,
Right.
which I guess makes sense.
I knew that.
Obviously, the Mind Stone is the Mind Stone.
No. Space makes perfect sense because we're teleporting people places.
Yeah. The Aether is reality. The Dark World one.
Okay.
See, that one I would think would be power. All we do with that is break shit.
So what yeah.
Power is the Guardians one, the purple one.
Right. That makes sense.
Time is Eye of Agamotto. So Soul is the missing one.
That's right. I knew that.
Yeah.
I knew that. I forgot about that.
Anyways,
It'll be interesting to see how that plays thematically in that film.
yeah.
Anyway,
So
what are we talking about?
So with there's a bunch of different, lots of superhero teams. X-Men, Justice League,
sure
Teen
are.
Titans,
It's a good segue.
Avengers. Are there any? I kind of started it and then bit went backwards. Are there any? Who are members that you think of as like key members? Like almost it's not really that team if these characters aren't on that team.
Some of that, so much is about the era you're raised in, right? Like, I can't think about X-Men without Wolverine. And I feel bad about it because I've seen good X-Men without Wolverine, but I grew up with that. And he doesn't start with it, but I grew up with that. And so
but also, like, all of the important X-Men have Wolverine.
That's true.
Like Claremont is Wolverine.
And it's weird because, like, he's usually such a loner character, but it's hard to imagine, the X-Men without Wolverine. With other... So,
like, there's, like, Rogue, is Rogue one that you're like, yeah, there's some Rogue and Gambit. They're supposed to be on the X-Men.
No, I don't have that. Cartoon. Even though the X-Men cartoon is where I start because I've read enough Claremont and enough other things. No, X-Men's weird without Cyclops. It's weird without Wolverine. It's weird without Professor X. But Professor X is my favorite X-Men character for whatever reason.
It's the movies, right?
It is the movies for me, yeah, that's true. But I think those are the three. I think everything else is rotating for me with the X-Men.
Okay.
There's nobody else that I feel like has to be there.
I don't know if I...
It's Cyclops and it's Wolverine, and that's about it. Like, I'm used to it without Jean Grey because she died 1.5 million years ago.
No, I guess for me, I would be the same. And then there's ones that like I never would have thought I would be okay without, and then Beast wasn't there for a long time.
Yeah.
Like I would think of Beast as like, oh, he's a core X-Men.
Well, and also, you see Beast on so many other teams. Like, obviously, it's not like I don't think of him as an X-Man anymore, but it's just, Beast is a real versatile character that can be there or not, and can be in a bunch of other places also.
Also, going back and looking at Claremont X-Men, Beast is there way less than I would think he would be.
But then when you go to Avengers, I feel weird about characters that aren't thought of as big Avengers anymore because we have the core six in the movie, right? So, like, I think of... Hank Pym and the Wasp, like...
I have a definitive, like...
Hank and Janet Pym, like...
I have a definitive, like, trinity for the Avengers that, like, in my opinion, it's all, like, almost not the Avengers
I do need
team.
Iron Man, I do need Captain America. Those are two I do need.
But... Here's what's weird, is I have 3, and you have to have these 3 on your team to be an Avengers team. And they haven't been together on the Avengers, I don't think, since the early 2000s.
Is one of them Vision?
Yes. Vision, Scarlet Witch, Hawkeye.
Yeah, okay.
They are the core of the Avengers.
See... For the longest time, I didn't even know what Hawkeye or Scarlet Witch were, so I don't have that. Some of it's just childhood. Like,
well, you're also not the big Avengers guy.
I'm not. So I have a skewed kind of look at the.
But I also think of Tigra as like a core Avenger, and that's only because of the.
And I hardly know who that is.
It's only because I watched the Avengers cartoon when I was a kid. You know the shitty one where they had armor.
Sounds like a personal.
But she's big in West Coast Avengers. She's a cat lady. She's not really an important Avenger. But for me, the big 3 with Avengers is Hawkeye, Vision, and Scarlet Witch. That is what makes an Avengers team. Stop fucking it up.
Justice League is all over the place. I don't hardly have core Justice League characters. I mean, like, Superman, and that's almost it, you know? Like, Batman doesn't have to be there.
Interesting.
I'm used to Batman being there. Well, the problem is, I grew up with Death of Superman with a bunch of random... third-tier fuckers that didn't have anything to do with Justice League
those
before.
teams don't bother me because when they're like intentionally like they're the B-listers.
But that's what I mean is that because I had a lot of that, there's hardly anybody I need to be on the Justice League besides Superman.
I mean,
that's my point.
I guess I see it as the Trinity, right? Like it's Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. Those are the people I think should be there.
Generally speaking, but I need Martian Manhunter.
Martian Manhunter is the most important one.
I need Martian Manhunter.
He's the vision.
But I almost
of the
need
Justice
Wonder
League.
Woman more than I need Batman.
Interesting. I think Martian Manhunter might be my only one. Like my
because
only
I've only loved Wonder Woman outside of her movie in team things.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
And I have that with Iron Man too. I need Iron Man on a team.
It's not the Justice League if Martian Manhunter's not there.
Any other teams? Those are the core 3.
Oh, and you're not a Titans guy, so that doesn't really matter.
Not really.
Are there any other teams?
Like major big ones, not really.
Fantastic Four.
That don't already have.
What
Ninja Turtles characters do you need?
No, I guess those are the only 3 I wrote down. So yeah, those are the 3 big ones.
All right. Well, my next.
It's kind of like a game.
It is. It's fun.
Fuck you. Not all my things are rants.
I win. I apologize.
All of these were written beforehand, by the way, before you made that comment.
I did. We didn't do it on camera. No one knows what I'm talking about.
No one knows what I'm talking about.
Eric, and I just realized that I put the word alien in the first 2 questions, possibly because we were watching Alien Rangers. But
he was writing them while we were watching Alien Rangers.
If tomorrow, aliens suddenly landed on the lawn in front of the White House, what would be the reaction? And let's not get into politics. I don't mean specifically with the people who are currently in the White House. I just mean America and I guess to some degree that has to inform it because whoever's in charge somewhat determines what the reaction is. But just overall, socially, is the reaction at this point, and I'm mostly saying this because of popular culture, because we're so used to the idea just in our fiction.
I don't think we would lose our minds.
How similar? Yeah, how similar would it be to traditionally how we play it in fiction?
I think it would be a lot.
It's not Independence Day at all, right? That's foreign.
No, it's Doctor Who, right? It's like, oh, that's kind of weird.
Yeah,
didn't expect that.
But how many of us would be like, either I told you so, or I was hoping in my lifetime? Like, wouldn't it be normalized almost faster than you've ever seen it?
I think so. Slight political thing that I would be interested in is, I was just talking about this the other day at work, that one of two things has happened. Either aliens have never been here, like speaking spiritually, either aliens have never been here because Trump would have told us if he had that information, or it's intentionally being kept from him.
Okay, can I say an off-color, or not even off-color, but just a thing I would never probably say on the channel?
Sure.
He might not tell us. He might just tell the Russians.
I don't think so. I think if that was a thing you got briefed on like day one of being the president,
he might accidentally let it leak. But if he was intentionally,
it would have shown up on Twitter.
It might have been to some Russian spies when you're in the middle of the Oval Office.
Nah, it would have shown up on
Twitter. That's as far as I'm going to go with that. Anyway,
that's as far. I
mostly just mean amount of time I'll spend on it. That's all I meant.
That's honestly, that is my biggest question when aliens land. Is, have you been here before? And did we know about it? That's what I want to know. Great, you're here. Wonderful. But have you been here? Have you seen Elvis, and how is it?
And how has he been lately? Yeah.
No, but like, for me, like all the stuff moving forward is great, but I want a definitive answer on the past.
On the other hand, do you think it's possible that because of as many alien invasion stories as we've had, and because of how distrusting we tend to be of other foreign nations and stuff, that there might be some panic?
I don't know.
Or if not panic, just immediate distrust. You'd have some of that. Don't you think?
I don't want to seem optimistic, but like I feel like I don't think it's District 9.
Would we be too? I don't think it is either. But would we be too rose-tinted glasses about it? Would we be like, maybe there would be too many people that would be all flower power about it, or it would be like, okay, now finally, like they must be coming in peace and they can solve all of our problems for us. Would we have some of that too?
I think what would happen is,
I guess in many perspectives,
we would normalize it very quickly and then start picking them apart the way we do everything else, where it's like, oh, but they do this, and why didn't they show up earlier? Like, I think that's what would happen. I think we get petty real fast.
Yeah, if they had way advanced technology, how quickly would people look at them like God and be like, what
have you done for me lately? Where have you been?
Why do aliens let bad things happen?
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Would you have cults that would worship the aliens as unto a god? We do that a lot.
Yes.
Do you think?
I also think we would have people who would immediately open fire.
Well, that would be the panic thing that I was talking about.
But I don't think it would be a mass panic. But I think you could get a couple of people together, like a group of people that would come in, like with guns,
like a private militia. Or,
yeah.
Well, I'm with you because we live
the president's
in a country
talking
where
to the UN's
people
talking
who
to
think
these
that's
people.
the way to solve all their problems.
Yeah.
No, you'd have everything on the spectrum, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And then the question is just, I guess in our internet age, the question is, what would be the vocal minority that would win people over? Ryan?
Yeah.
What is trending on Twitter? What is the hashtag? That's the real question with aliens.
Hashtag
what is the
beam me
hashtag?
up. Right, like that's
probably one of them, or yeah.
I mean, that was in the defense. It wasn't hashtag, but that's one of the things that's on the sign.
Well, and the conspiracy theories would fly, right?
Yes.
Because as soon as they show up, I mean, that's a really good point you're making. As soon as they show up, a lot of people start talking about, well, they must have always been here.
I don't know if people know this about me. I'm fascinated by specifically alien conspiracy theories. And I
you don't buy into any of them, Ryan?
I do.
Oh, do you really?
Not in the Mulder way. I guess kind of. I want to believe.
Wow. I don't have that at all.
The thing with the aliens here
My thing is aliens are not a far out there concept. I just need more actual proof. So like, I don't need to believe. I think there's probably something out there. Whether or not
no, definitively aliens have to exist.
That's kind of immaterial to me until we know something about it. Like, I'm just not even that intrigued until we see actual evidence of it.
I'm talking about the aliens being here, having been here, things like that. It is the X-Files thing of like
I think I had that at one time, but I've gotten over it. Like
what's the line at the end of, is it the pilot where it's like
which I don't mean to say condescendingly, by the way. I'm just saying
all of the evidence is not entirely dissuasive. I don't necessarily believe any of it, but I do think there are things we do not yet have answers to. Like Roswell, like we've used in everything that's ever wanted to be like supernatural or whatever.
No, that's right.
Something happened.
Yeah.
And we covered something up. And we've never gotten a conclusive answer. And there's a lot of events like that.
And it's probably not that interesting. I mean, it probably is interesting. It's probably juicy. It's probably human.
I'm not saying it's necessarily aliens, but I'm not completely opposed to the idea. And I find all of that stuff fascinating. I have watched hours upon hours of documentaries about alien abductions and things like that. I find it all fascinating. Not recently, not since I was a teenager, but it's all sitting up here somewhere.
This is obviously just conjecture and my own, like my own reliance on my instincts.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think there's much to any of that as long as the president gets to know about it. If the president is in the dark, maybe. But that question was asked by, I forget who, I don't think it was Kimmel, I can't remember who, on a late night talk show to Obama after he left the White House, and I felt like I could tell in his eyes there was nothing there.
But maybe he doesn't know.
That's sure, but
because why would you tell the president he's going to be a different person every 4 to 8 years?
That completely contradicts what you said earlier.
Why? No, it's not. I said there are one of two things happening. Either aliens have come and Trump would have told us, or he doesn't know that they.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that part. Yeah, it's also possible that he's the first president they decide not to tell.
That's also possible, but also, I think alien conspiracy thing for
Clearance
me
is relative, really.
I think part of the alien conspiracy thing for me is like if I were to psychoanalyze myself, it's like my last stand for the world not being as boring as I know it is. Like, I know magic doesn't exist. I don't believe in ghosts. I don't believe in any of those things. Aliens are the one thing that's plausible that would make the world not as utterly boring as I know it is.
I used to have that. I don't have any of that anymore. I don't know. I've changed, I guess. I think the deal for me at this point is I believe in the possibility of all of those things, and I'm just waiting for some kind of evidence for it, and I don't necessarily need it. It's all possible. It could happen. I think that's enough for me these days. I don't know.
Well, I think definitively, like, mathematically, aliens have to exist.
Yeah,
it's
sure.
whether they've been here.
Whether they've been here, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I find that stuff cool and fascinating. It's not.
That seems to. But here's the thing. A lot of people seem to think that believe in that stuff that you're small-minded and you don't have any vision if you don't think that the aliens have already been here. But how Earth-centric and human-centric and egotistical is it to assume that they have if you believe that in the vast cosmos aliens must exist and you know anything about how much distance there is between galaxies.
The chances of them accidentally hitting us.
Not to mention the distance there is even just between planets.
Mm-hmm.
By their own logic, what are the odds? That's my whole thing, is, like, the fact that I believe there probably are aliens tells me that they probably haven't been here, is my thing.
Space is pretty big. Chances are it won't hit anything.
I love that so much. And
it's pretty empty.
Yeah, he's talking about the Orville. I've said this before.
God, that video's weird now.
It is. Well, I love your idea of doing another one. So we did a video when the Orville, just before the Orville dropped, where it had already aired, but we were waiting to watch it, and we thought it would be funny to make a video called Waiting for the Orville. We're just sitting around waiting for the video to drop on Fox, and we were like...
Neither of us expecting to like that show.
We don't think we're going to like this. We're going to pretend like we're excited. We couldn't even pretend like we were excited. It was weird. Then we watched it the next day, and we were like, it's pretty good. And then...
No, we were much more lukewarm.
No, we were. Well, that's what I mean. We were like, it's
better
okay,
than we thought it was, though.
But we weren't in love with it. And then we fell in love with it.
Yeah.
I think I don't think it's going too far to say that. I think
No.
you and I both fell for that show.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And it became our favorite thing, at least to watch together.
Yeah.
And so Eric, when it comes back, when we get to season 2 toward the end of the year, which McFarlane is pretty clear about, he was wrong that they wouldn't be able to get it started this year. He thinks it's going to actually drop in the fall now.
That's good.
Which is exciting. But anyway,
it's still a shorter season though.
So Eric said, let's go ahead and do another Waiting for the Orville, but this time we'll actually be excited about it, and that's fun. I like that idea.
But the problem with that is we'd have to do it like 5 in the morning. Because why would we once again sit at midnight waiting to see if it drops?
Yeah, because we know it's not going to, and it was already dumb in the first place. We're not actually gonna have a chance to. What were we thinking when we did that? It was weird, but it's funny. Anyway, so what's your next topic, Eric?
Oh boy,
about 22 minutes.
We really do need to get back to the X-Files. Speaking of aliens,
left on the clock. Yeah, you know what? I'm having people asking about for me to actually do the Thai show, which. I know.
I told you.
And I know you didn't want me to put it in the video.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So we watched 10 episodes of the X-Files.
We were gonna do a whole season 1 overview.
Yeah, we were gonna do a whole season 1 overview. We watched the first 10 episodes. We'll have to rewatch them again because
I can't keep them in my brain.
I actually remember season 1 pretty well. Like I can keep going, but if you want to refresh,
I remember a couple of them.
But we watched like the first 10 episodes or so, and Cap kept commenting on his ties and became this whole joke that Cap was going to make a website that would log all of Mulder's ties.
Is that what it was? It was a
episode.
website?
It was a website that would have pictures
Makes
of every
more sense
tie.
in the video idea, doesn't it?
Yeah. And I think it's hilarious, and I really want him to do it. And I'm glad other people also think it's hilarious and want you to do it.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Part of the reason I put it in the video was to gauge interest.
And there is some.
It is. You have to admit, it is a goofy enough idea. It fit in the video.
Yeah.
When I originally wrote it, you sent me a message back, and you was like, and this is what he said. He was like, "No, you're fucking doing that." That's what he said. He said that doesn't go in the April Fool's Day video.
You're making that.
You're making that. But my whole idea was, no, it's silly enough.
No, it absolutely is silly.
To go in the April Fool's Day video.
And it's out of nowhere. Like I feel like most people watching would be like, well, that was a weird thing to come up with.
Yeah, like Sequest Month. I'm also getting requests for. To be honest with you, I'm getting requests for most of the shows we pitched.
A lot of people want Eric Holden's
Neighborhood. The biggest one is Eric Holden's Neighborhood. Everyone wants that, which is really funny because we should mention this. That was my idea, whole cloth.
Yeah, no, I didn't even know until I saw the video.
Eric didn't even know it existed until. And I don't know if you know this, but remember I was asking you or asking if you had more ideas because you really wanted to add some things to it, but you weren't sure. You didn't have ideas.
Yeah.
And I didn't want the video to be all me, but I had a draft and I was ready to shoot it. Eric Holden's Neighborhood is in the first draft. I didn't tell you that. That doesn't come from our conversations. I already had it there. I mostly thought of it because I wanted to make sure that you were more represented because you didn't have any ideas in the video yet. Mm-hmm. And then you came up with 2 or 3, and the politics idea is such a great stinger.
Finally, politics.
Yeah. I'm so glad we have that. Anyway, I was really happy with the way that turned out.
I'm going to do one real fast.
So excited to find out what Eric's next topic is.
This is a thing that we talked about like months ago, and it's just kept sitting on the After Dark list because it's going back really early.
I mean, just why is Gold Ranger so squeaky?
Because he's clean.
Didn't even skip a beat. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well. Squeaky clean
needs some WD-40 here. Trey from Triforia or Jason. I almost said and or Jason. That's impossible.
Well, I mean, there's 3 Trey from Triforia.
Well, yeah, but you gotta be one of the triplets.
Yeah.
In order to combine.
Yeah. So early on, I did this thing where I talked about I had like a whole sandcastle metaphor and talked about like you remember this where I had the whole where I was like everyone likes these things I like, but they don't really like it the way I do.
Vaguely.
And it feels phony and fake, and I don't like it.
Oh yeah, sure.
And then we were having a conversation. I kind of refined that idea, and
that's
you're
like a week 1 or 2.
It's really
topic,
early on.
Is it not?
It's really early on. And at one point we had a conversation.
Do you feel like a veteran of After Dark now? We've been doing this for a long time. We're coming up on 20 episodes.
We've had less guests than we intended to have.
It's late at night. I don't know who to get. I mean, like, we can... And we haven't done any remote ones. And I feel funky about remote just because we've never done it.
Yeah, remote would be weird.
Like, we can do it, but it would have to be... I wouldn't even want to do it Google Plus. I don't feel like it's the same thing.
Yeah, I agree.
It would feel less personal.
But so at one point we were having a conversation, and I kind of, like, while speaking, kind of refined that thought down to, I think, kind of its essence. And you're like, you should bring that up on After Dark, and I wrote it down, it's the one I just keep putting off. Like,
Okay.
it's been on there for episodes and episodes and episodes, so I'm just going to bring it up now. So, what everything boils down to is...
Everything.
Because I always talked about, because I always talked about, like, this isn't what I wanted. This world is not what I wanted as far as geek culture goes. I didn't want all of the dumb people and the like I didn't want the football jocks like liking Avengers but not caring.
Yeah, you're saying that it's gone mainstream and people appreciate and accept it now, but it didn't change them.
Yes,
that's what you're saying.
So what it boils down to, I got it written down, is that I didn't want all of the things that I loved to be watered down for the mainstream.
Yep.
What I wanted was for everyone to see the things I loved, and they elevate to that level. Yep. And that's just the level of quality that we make.
This was exactly the gesture I was going through.
Yeah. It's the level of I wanted that to be the standard.
Right.
And that's not what happened.
Right.
We just wanted it all down, and that's why I'm angry all the time.
You
that
couldn't
and many other things.
have begun to expect it.
No.
This was the best you were ever going to get. The best you could possibly hope for is guys like us don't get beaten up anymore. That's the best you could possibly...
No, absolutely.
I'm not saying I ever got beaten up. I wasn't bullied that much in school.
I was a little bit, but not for, like, the geeky stuff.
No, I mean, I was a little bit, too. Don't get me wrong, I have my moments, but except for, like, really popular kids and, the scary, tall, bulky kids, I don't know that a lot of us didn't have that. I don't think you had to be a nerd.
No, I don't think so. I think everyone got bullied a little bit. Did you like a worst moment of bullying? That immediately sticks out in your brain? Because I did it.
Do I want to talk about it publicly?
I'll talk about mine, and you can decide if I'm doing that.
And I have a couple, actually. I say I wasn't bullied that much. I mean, I have the couple that stick out at me. Yeah, I'll do it. Why not? It's
okay.
After Dark. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So the big one for me is I was kind of held down, and they took one of those rulers with the metal edge, and they heated up on their shoe and put it on my neck.
Oh my God! I don't know anything like that.
Okay.
I was never like.
It didn't like burn. Like I didn't have a mark, but like
I was never
hurt.
physically abused or anything. It just threatened and it was scary. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, threatening one time.
I almost got in a fight once. I did have a big burly guy who pushed me around, threw me up against a wall. It was almost a fight and it got broken up real fast.
Interesting.
Now, I'm not saying that to say, like, oh man, I would have won this. No, I would have gotten my clock kinged. Yeah, I'll stick with that.
Clock king?
Yeah, I'll stick with that. Why not? No, he would have creamed me. Like I had no chance. It was lucky that got broken up. By broken up, I don't mean because I didn't get a chance to throw a punch. I mean like I didn't get a chance to get punches thrown at me. What were you going to say? You said you had maybe something about being threatened.
Once while I was roller skating around, because I used to do roller skates when I was younger.
Interesting.
Because my bike tires kept popping. There's like sand spurs everywhere in Florida, and so like if you ride through like the grass all, like chances are you're gonna get like sand spurs in the So
that sucks.
I was rollerblading around.
Sounds like a foreign country
and these two
to me.
kids
I can't imagine
came
some of the
up.
stuff that you dealt with.
Like I think they were on bikes and they were older than me. Perception is weird because I'm like 12 or 13, and they feel like they're like 20. They were probably like 16,
14, 15.
Yeah, but they come up and they've got a knife. They got like a switchblade knife, like that. And they're just fucking with me. They left me alone. But I went home and I told my mom and they called the cops and everything. And I'm sure the cops were like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Like looking back, that feels really dumb. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess comparatively, I don't have anything all that interesting. It's just you go back to those memories and your skin crawls.
Yeah.
That's all. And so if I say it out loud, it sounds maybe not that interesting.
Sure.
Or like really that's all you got. Like Eric got almost burned. What do you have?
Almost burned.
Yeah, but I mean comparatively, I didn't even get almost. No, because the problem is I'm going to tell you one of mine, and it's going to sound like a punchline, but it scared me half to death. And part of it was because I was so little. I was like first grade. I mean, like everything like this is scarier when you're that young.
Sure.
I was 6, 7. But I remember there was a... Yeah, it had to have been first grade. So I was doing a fundraiser with candy bars, and there was this kid that I used to cut through the fairgrounds to get to class, which was sometimes scary in and of itself, and just
Did a
because
clown come out?
no, but you'd have kids that were hanging out in the fairgrounds doing all manner of who knows what, right?
Sure.
And it was kind of scary for me because there was a kid that I hung out with that was older than me that bullied me a lot, but I wanted to be his friend, so I didn't really notice what he was doing.
Mm.
And I got in trouble with him sometimes at the fairgrounds, and there was some stuff with that. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So anyway, that's a whole other kind of bullying, really. That was almost like a psychological kind of abuse. But there was this kid that... It's always interesting the things that after I think you're suddenly talking about that you couldn't imagine would have come up. There's this kid that comes up to me that I think had maybe been bothering me before, and he threatened me and told me I better give him some of my candy bars.
Why do you have candy bars?
I just told you a fundraiser.
Oh, fundraiser.
Doing
okay.
a fundraiser.
Sorry, I wasn't thinking candy. Yes, okay.
You better give me some of your candy bars. Well, if I give him candy bars, then my then my numbers are going to be off.
Yeah.
And how do I explain that?
Yeah.
Because I have a list, and so but I don't know what to do because he pulls out what looks like a switchblade knife. You mentioned a switchblade knife. And it turned out just to be a comb. But I thought it was a switchblade knife. You're 6. And but he took one or at least a couple candy bars, and it was just, I don't know. It's just, that always stuck with me.
At what point did you find that was a comb?
I don't know.
Was it before or after he got the candy?
I'm not sure. Well, I assume after. I don't have that part of memory. I know it was a comb. But you ever have that where something, but you don't have the memory associated with how you found out?
Yeah.
That's.
I mean, my assumption would be that
I put that in a short story, by the way.
Knowing
at one point,
knowing how, I don't know how I think these things go is I would assume he gets the candy bars, then whips out the comb, and it's like, idiot.
I think that's probably what happened, but I'm not prepared.
You're
to
so
say that
dumb.
for sure.
You thought it was a knife.
Yeah. So anyway, that's one.
Sure.
It doesn't sound scary when you say it out loud, but I just remember it being, horrifying at the time.
Yeah. But circle back around to my original thing.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm pretty sure I got us off on this. That's fine. This is a real tangenty one.
I don't even know what we're talking about right now.
The mainstream rise.
Oh.
Yeah. I feel like sometimes people look at me when I'm talking, both online and in real life, where they're like, "But isn't this what you wanted? There's geek stuff everywhere?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but I don't like superhero comics because I don't know, inherently there's I like superheroes. I like the smartness of it. I like comic books because comic books go places that other places won't go, or at least they used to.
Yeah, sure.
I like the intelligence of it, and I always, and there was an edginess to it.
It was challenging. There were envelopes being pushed.
Yeah, and especially in the 80s, I was reading this in the mid 2000s, but even in the mid 2000s, looking at 80s stuff, I'm like, where are the TV shows like this? Where are the movies like this? Nobody else is doing shit like this. That's what I like. That's what I...
And now we're supposed to like all the old formulas that are just redressed to be superhero, right?
Yeah, and you're just supposed to like it because it is superheroes. And I'm like, but that's not what I like about superheroes. I drop comic books that immediately become formulaic or boring.
And the thing is, when the TV onslaught hit especially, I said, oh my god, we're so spoiled, and then... we got more and more of it, and the quality started dropping, and you had a lot of people that felt like I did at first that just kept feeling that way, that were like, well, we have to, continue to support this because thank God we have it, and after
a
while,
not that guy.
I'm like, no, the quality's gotta be higher than this.
Why should I be excited that there's 4 superhero shows on CW if none of them are good, and I don't like any of them?
And it's and I feel like, no disrespect for anybody that's enjoying those. This is just how I feel about it. But there's a lot of people that understand, or that agree with me, I guess, that that some of those shows, aren't as...
Well, they watch them as junk food shows.
Aren't that small. They watch them as junk food shows, and they say, well, just enjoy it for what it is.
Yeah.
But part of the reason I have a hard time doing that is because they didn't start that place. You know what I mean? It's because Arrow was already leaps and bounds above Smallville, and I said, this could get even more sophisticated, and it got less so, and very quickly. It goes from season 2 Smallville, but I think it's elevated above that in first season. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
I mean, like Arrow
I think first season of Arrow is as good as the best of Smallville.
I think in some places it surpasses it by quite a bit.
Yeah.
And it goes from that to 9 in 0.5 seconds.
Yep, back half season 2.
Yep.
And even the first half of season 2 had all that Laurel stuff. No, and honestly...
Yeah, but when you ignore that, that's some of the best superhero stuff we've ever had on television.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's not anywhere near the Netflix stuff, but...
I mean broadcast.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. But no, it's this... I'm like, no, I shouldn't watch it. I shouldn't be excited that we have it, because it sucks. I should not watch it, so the ratings plummet, so they know they have to do better.
Well, the thing is, like...
we won't stand for this.
The thing is, I feel like if I just lower my standards, then I'm saying, like, I'll take whatever you spoon-feed me, and I don't lower my standards for comics. Why would I lower my standards for television?
Well, and this is the thing that I have with
now, to be fair, we all sort of, in a way, lowered our standards in the mid-2000s, because we did have different standards for film, for those kinds of movies.
Because it's all we had.
Because it's all we had.
Yeah.
But we're not in that place anymore. And it's all about perspective. It was harder. Would you agree with this? In some ways, it was harder to tell when those movies weren't working as well because the novelty hadn't worn off.
Well, we were all younger.
That's true too. Sure. But I think some of it is that the novelty hadn't worn off. But it's not. No, it's not just that because no, hold on. There are too many older critics that enjoyed movies that have been well surpassed since then. It's a matter of perspective.
Well, it's because pre-Dark Knight and Iron Man, that was the best we could have hoped for.
That's it. But it's not just about age, okay? Because I'm going to fight you on that because Roger Ebert gives Spider-Man 2 a 4. Mm-hmm. He doesn't give Spider-Man 2 a 4 after Logan.
No, or Dark Knight, or Iron Man, or
if he was still alive for Logan, I'm just saying.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
I'm making an assumption about what Roger Ebert would have thought of Logan. He would have loved that film.
Yeah, I would think so. But yeah, no, it's just...
And it hurts my... As an aside, may I say, it hurts my feelings that Roger Ebert wasn't around for that, because the end... I will never forget this. The end of his... I love this so much. Of his X-Men Origins review is... I wouldn't walk across the street to shake Wolverine's hand. I really needed him to see Logan.
Yeah,
it hurts my feelings because he never understood the potential and the potential depth for that character.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I'm sorry. That's an aside.
Yeah, but I mean, this is all asides. But yeah, I don't know. It's just I didn't just want these things because I wanted these things.
Yeah.
At least not once I started growing up. Like once I got past 13, 14. Like I wanted them because what I love about that stuff is the bigness and the weirdness and the smartness. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I was thinking about this the other day.
You didn't want to see it genericified.
No, but I was thinking about this the other day with Infinity War, where I was like, I read Infinity Gauntlet when I was 8. Well, I mean, I didn't read Infinity Gauntlet. I read parts of Infinity Gauntlet. Most of it I got through.
It's really interesting. I didn't get it until high school.
Well, the thing is, I don't fully read Infinity War until maybe late teens.
Gauntlet, right?
Yeah, so sorry. Yeah, I don't read Infinity Gauntlet like cover to cover until like late teens. I experience it scattershot through Silver Surfer tie-ins and like a couple Infinity Gauntlet issues.
Yeah.
But like it's really hard for me to look at the Infinity War trailer. Like it is epic, like it is. Like I'm not gonna say doesn't look epic, but Jesus Christ, at 8 years old I was watching the most powerful cosmic beings in existence be slaughtered by Thanos.
Yeah.
We're not big enough. We're not weird enough. Like, and if it is weird, make it fucking funny. Because you can't handle it. The mainstream can't handle weirdness. And I'm like...
And that's rough, but the counter argument is...
We're weeding them there?
Well, that's a good argument. That's not what I was going to say, but I think you're absolutely right about that. We're kind of... baby steps, right?
Yeah.
We're incrementally getting the mainstream used to comic book storytelling, used to comic book ideas, the tropes, etc. But what I was going to say is, I think, and this is related to that. If Iron Man, and it's Iron Man, it wouldn't have, but if Iron Man had started at that place, we don't build MCU into a billion-dollar franchise.
No.
It does have to be mainstream to some degree. And some people's eyes would glaze over. They would roll their eyes at me for saying that, because a lot of people agree with you and think that, but you actually like a lot of these movies.
No,
there's a lot of people that go even a lot farther than you do and don't even want to watch these movies because they say that they're just mainstream trash and they're all the same. And I think that is a massive oversimplification.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of depth to character in many of those movies. There's a lot of envelopes being pushed in stuff we've maybe said in comics that we've never really said in movies before. I can't stop writing about Age of Ultron.
And far and away, I don't think there's any.
I'm gonna maybe give something away if this comes out before that, but maybe I don't even know yet. I am so between a 3 and a 3.5 on that movie because there's all this like really intelligent and fascinating and thought-provoking stuff, but I just don't know that it's delivered right. You know what I mean? So I have a hard time with a rating on that movie, but I can't stop writing about it.
I think it would be hard to argue that most, not all, but most of the Marvel movies are hands down, far and away, some of the best blockbuster films ever made. Like, smartest blockbuster films, most character-driven blockbuster films ever made. Tentpole blockbuster films. Not saying, like, obviously like, I'm talking about 90s forward, like, when we started, like, really making the cookie-cutter, like, blockbuster films.
Sure.
Like, the Marvel movies are far and away some of the best of those.
Well, that's because they're actually telling a story.
Yeah.
At the very least, I care about the characters involved. In almost every Marvel movie, the problem is not hardly ever that the protagonist or most of the characters that in the film are two-dimensional.
Yeah.
It's usually not the problem. I wouldn't even lob that at Ragnarok, necessarily. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's not its main problem.
No, I mean, they're cartoons, which I guess would make them two-dimensional in some ways, but...
Well, and also, the problem with a movie like that is it's building on what came before.
Yeah.
And so, if they're already drawn, then it's just building on that. It's already, or it just has them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So whatever. But, so that's not a good example, I guess.
But I've now had a 2-day conversation with a guy at work, who's not a comic guy at all, he's completely a video game guy, and, like, he's trying to, like, understand me? Because I was like, man, I really wish...
you lived here for almost 2 years. I don't understand you.
I really wish I was more excited for Infinity War. He's like, how are you not out of your mind excited? And he said to me, he said, because I was talking about how I'm kind of worried about Thanos. He goes,
some of it's because he hasn't read Infinity Gauntlet, right?
He hasn't read any comics.
Yeah.
But he's like,
and I don't mean to be a snob about it. I would love to see Infinity Gauntlet, translated directly to screen. That's never going to happen.
No. But he said this to me today, and it really, like, it just took me aback. Where he goes, when I see the trailer for Infinity War and I see Thanos, I think he's the most badass, awesome thing I've ever seen in my life. And I'm like,
he looks generic to me.
But I can never.
I'm sorry, that's not fair. He looks potentially generic to me. Yeah. I look at Thanos in those trailers and I'm just like, I hope the characterizization is there. You know what I mean?
But I can never have that. I've been reading
because I know what Thanos is.
But I've been reading that stuff since 8 years old. Not just Thanos, comics.
Yeah.
I have been here and done all of this.
Right.
I'm hoping it's represented well.
Well, and it's hard not to think that this could be kind of a hot button word, but it feels like sometimes to me like there's almost on the part of the filmmakers a responsibility to not bring it, as I always say, exactly the same and direct off the page, in adapting.
You want to make it work as a movie.
But you want to keep enough of the spirit of it, especially when you're adapting a particular story, like messing with Infinity Gauntlet at all, to the mainstream that is only going to look at movies because they don't like the medium of comics, because it's the only way they're going to ever look at it. And they've had some triumphs with that. I would never have anybody that enjoyed Civil War read the comic. They got the better version.
No, but I would have people read Brubaker's run over Winter Soldier. Not over, but like, if you like that, go read this.
That's fair. Okay, but we had at least one.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And you and I always said Civil War needs to be adapted because it's a good idea that was executed poorly.
Mm-hmm. Vingon, not so much. Vingon's brilliant. I don't want it to be. I don't want it to be messed up.
Yeah. Well, and that's part of the thing too, with the responsibility of it, where it's like, well, if you take a brilliant masterpiece.
Yeah.
Because I think Infinity Gauntlet is a masterpiece.
Yep.
How
much time we got?
We are out of time. I'm going to throw out one more. What, Eric, is the first TV box set you ever owned? Do you remember? Because you are old enough to remember a time before we could own TV in a box.
I am 90% positive it's Highlander.
Interesting.
There was this thing. So there are 7 seasons of Highlander, so it must start when I'm 11.
Mm-hmm.
Every Christmas I get one season from my dad, so I'm 18. I'm pretty sure season 1 of Highlander is the first DVD box set I own. I think.
Do you have any? This is the second part of this question. Can you think of any TV box sets where you look back and you can't believe the amount of money you spent on one?
No, because I didn't have money, so I didn't do a lot of that.
Okay, sure.
But I will say,
because when that starts getting popular, and there's a lot of box sets that are $50 to $100. Remember, all the Star Trek was like $100 when it came out. I was just graduating from high school. I'm
really like there's stuff where I'm like, man, like I paid $30 for a season of Buffy. Like,
we're like, Cry Me a River, man.
Yeah, like that. Like where I'm like, well, but no, I can't think of anything specifically where like I paid. I did a lot of renting from the library and things like that. I didn't own a lot of TV box sets.
And you see my collection. I have quite a bit of it.
Yeah.
And you do too now. But
yeah.
Can you? But a lot of the stuff that you'll see that came out from like in a particular period, I bought right around when it came out.
Yeah.
Can you guess what mine was? Shouldn't be hard.
Is it TNG? Is it Smallville?
It is.
$50, right?
$50, yeah. I got a gift card for graduation to a Borders when Borders was still around, and that's what I spent it on.
Nice.
Yep. I don't know how interesting that is, but yeah, I like a lot of box sets.
Think of all the other things you could have bought.
I know. With a lot of, yeah, I know. But at the time, it was a big deal.
No,
I knew where it was going to go, right? I mean, that was as season 2 was wrapping up. Like,
I was talking to somebody the other day about like where we used to put out season sets where they were just like 10 episodes. Where it's like, it's not all of the season, but like it represents the season.
And they were
as a
also
whole.
really expensive.
Yeah. Like $60 for like an X-Files box set that wasn't even the whole season.
And it's weird because you know, at the time, I think there was a lot of like relative trying to figure out how much was reasonable to charge for these things, and so you did have a lot of box sets that came out at $50, and you had certain companies like Paramount that with franchises like Star Trek like to try to go a lot higher and see if they could get away with it. But I think as time went on, it was hard to decide, is it worth more because of the amount of hours of it, or does it become like movies where it's just a matter of how much interest there is? And we have gotten to that place where you can buy entire seasons of things for $6 and $7 now. Like, box sets are the same thing as movies now.
Yeah.
It does not matter the length of them,
which
at all.
Is that obnoxious of us, like as a people, to be like, oh yeah, you have 24 hours of content. I want that the same price as a 2-hour movie.
We are the same people, and I know this is going to sound like, because of something we watched recently, I got this from a stand-up comic. But I had this thought myself. It's the same, but the thing is, we live in a culture where everyone wants not just their music, but all of the music.
Yes.
How much are you willing to pay for that? Well, nothing.
Yeah, I just want all the music.
I just want all the music.
No, it's very much that.
Now, to be fair, in my defense, I do want all the music, but I pay for it $15 a month for Spotify.
Well, and also, if it's about money sake...
Because it's damn convenient.
If it's about money sake into production, it's not a single season of Smallville that costs as much as Iron Man. Right? Or the Avengers, right? Like...
Well, that's an excellent point you're making, sure. Yeah.
I don't know how that works for something like Game of Thrones, but I'm sure that there a decent amount of money spent on The Flash and Arrow. It is not as much money as we spent on the Avengers. So why is, when an Arrow box set drops...
even for a season, it's not going to cost $100 million to make.
Why is it when an Arrow season drops,
well, I don't
$50
know.
and the Avengers is $25?
Like, most of those things are probably like, you know, $1 million or $2 million an episode, right? Like when
At most, you're looking at maybe $50
when it's
million.
all said and done, there's no way a season of Arrow is $100 million. That's a good point. That's an excellent point you make. I never thought of it like that. Sure. So that makes sense. That's a good justification for those being cheaper.
Yeah,
but
I think so.
It simply becomes a supply and demand issue. There was a novelty. Well, A, there was a novelty, and B, there was a demand issue. By demand issue, those sound like the same thing. I just mean there was also demand in that people wanted a way to watch it. There was a novelty of, oh my god, I can own this.
Mm-hmm.
And then how can I even... Like now that it's becoming normalized that you can look at these things, how am I going to get my hands on it? Before Netflix and before other streaming services, now that we have streaming services, that makes the demand for those things go way, way, way down. So you would still see more box sets coming out at $40 and $50 if the standard way that you watch those things was to purchase them or to rent them physically.
Mm-hmm. Well, and
which is a nice thing about streaming, because if you want to own those things, it's no longer cost prohibitive. You can many of those things you can buy the way you buy movies or better.
One of the things that blows my mind is I distinctly remember at one point when I was younger, I borrowed some Universal Monsters VHSs from my grandmother, and they had these slips in them where it was like, you bought this, buy these other ones from the collection.
Right.
And I distinctly remember each VHS was $19.99.
Yeah.
And in my brain, that is insane.
Oh, it is.
That you would pay $20 for a VHS.
Yeah, because it would have two
with
episodes
one movie
max.
on it.
Yeah. Yeah, or if it's TV, it would have 2 episodes on it max.
And those were black and white movies, like from the 40s, which means they were like 60 minutes long.
Yeah, and like nobody pays $20 for films from that era now. Well, there are. That's not fair. There are some things that are rare and hard to get your hands on that people do pay through.
No, but for $20, I can get all of the Dracula movies that Universal produced.
Yeah, if you're talking about
and
that.
I'm like, well, I don't know, $20 seems a little steep for all of the Dracula movies.
Well, anyway, that's gonna do
We
it.
are spoiled.
That's gonna do it for us today. We
are awful baby men.
No, absolutely. We're really entitled.
Yep.
But we're all guilty of it, right?
No, absolutely.
Because you get used to things and you get used to standards, and you say, if I only paid this much for this, how in the world am I paying this much for this?
He who pays full price for everything casts the first stone.
Well, anyway, thanks again for watching, folks. We sure appreciate it. This concludes this week's Geekvolution After Dark. We will see you again in 2 weeks. I want to thank, as Eric alluded to at the beginning of the show, all of our new patrons, and also folks
patrons
that because we haven't had a lot of new blood, but there are a few. The bigger thing lately has been increases in pledges, and I want to say thank you so much to everybody that's done that. I've been announcing goals and just announcing things we've been trying to do on the channel, and people have been really responsive and have been noticing it and have been trying to help us out and have been responding to the new perks that we're doing, and you guys are amazing for doing that. I mean, we've had, I want to say, quite a few more increases in pledges than we have new pledgers lately.
Nice.
And yeah, that's a big deal. I want to thank you guys so very much. Like I said, we are nearing 500, which is a big landmark if we can get to it for me. I honestly didn't expect we would ever get to that on Patreon, and that's really, this isn't me trying to get anybody to increase the pledges again. Thanks a bunch for pledging whatever you're pledging. But it's we're at a place right now where we're doing we're doing better with Patreon than we are even with ads, because of how far that whole thing has fallen with YouTube, and so we rely on this in a way we never used to before. And so anyway, you guys are amazing for responding the way that you have, and I'm working on getting rewinds out as often as humanly possible, and trying to keep it regular again. And I'll say this just for the Patreon audience, I'm not announcing this to the channel, but my goal right now is keeping it weekly again. And so far, this will be the 3rd week where I've managed it. When we finish this, I'm going to go upstairs, I'm going to finish writing this week's rewind, and so I'm pretty confident in saying it's coming out this week. And that's 3 weeks in a row, and one of those is an entire season of TV, and I think I figured out how to keep up with it. And then by figured out, I mainly mean making it the main thing I'm doing, prioritizing it, and not having to do stills. It's just so much more time in my day not having to do that.
Yeah.
So it's really nice that people are still caring about that and looking at it, because honestly, if I still had to do the stills, they just couldn't come out.
Not as fast.
The way they're coming.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, so you guys are wonderful, and I just want you guys to know how much we appreciate it, and how much we've been relying on the pledges lately. So, you guys are it. Anyway, Eric, anything else you want to mention?
No, I don't think so.
Well, thanks, guys. I am Captain Logan.
I'm American.
And we'll see you next time.